Hey guys, it's been a while since my last video, and now you get to see what I've been working on for the past few weeks, which is a 1cc of Crimzon Clover World Explosions Arcade Boost mode. And I am a bit proud of this one because it took a lot of work and it was not easy to figure out. So first off, a bit about me and my history with Crimzon Clover. It's the first shmup that I cleared when I started playing shmups about a year ago, back in December. I started with the novice modes that I cleared in January, so I was a total noob. Initially it was actually challenging for me, which is kind of funny to go back and look at now. It's interesting to take a look at your journey and see how far you've come, and this is a good opportunity for me. So after that, in February, quite quickly I managed to clear the arrange modes, all of them, and then I started tackling Arcade Original, which was a lot more difficult for sure, and I finally cleared it in May, but it took something like three months of grinding, and I played that a lot. That was rough. That was my first experience with a decently hard arcade shmup, and it's an experience that will stick with me. And then I took a break from CC because I was getting a bit burned out, and I didn't feel ready to tackle boost mode yet. And so I played other games for a few months. Until last month, October, when I started picking it back up again, because it feels like a calling. I still haven't found another shmup that I like as much as this one, although there are other amazing ones, but this is really, really special. And so the first question that comes to mind is, how difficult is it compared to original arcade? And this is actually difficult to answer. I think original might be slightly more difficult, but it's hard for me to tell because back when I started playing original, I'm a much better player now, to be fair. I think I learned a lot about shmups and about the game itself. Knowing the game, there's some carryover, it does help. So immediately when I started playing Boost, I was making it to the stage 4 boss consistently, so that obviously helped a lot. But to put it into perspective, it took me about half as many run attempts to clear Boost compared to original, and the game tracks that information, so that's how I know for sure. And it took me about less than 1/3 of the practice runs. So I probably did too many actual runs when I was playing this game, boost mode and not enough practice, which was the opposite for the original mode. I did a lot more practicing and well, I still did more actual runs, but the ratio was pretty different. And I do think original might be a little more difficult, but boost is more tricky. It's harder to figure out because the rank mechanic is a lot more prevalent, and you can easily kill yourself if you don't know your limits, if you don't understand how the game works. So it's a lot less straightforward than arcade. Arcade, you don't really need to care about ranks. Just try and score as much as possible, get as many stars as you can. You'll get more extends anyway, and the rank doesn't make a huge difference, at least not until you get extremely good, which is not my case. But for this mode, for boost mode, rank gets crazy, and it's hard to understand. The difficulty is a lot more dynamic, so you can make it as difficult or easy as you'd like, which is interesting. And I think it's more meant as a scoring mode, and it's not really meant to be played for survival. But even still, even just for survival, it's still challenging. So that was a fun experience for me. But it was hard to figure out because you can make the game harder for yourself if you're not careful. So the way this mode works, I should explain this. We're already on stage 2, but this part, the first few stages are not too difficult. and it might actually be easier than in original. So the way the mode work is, the more time you spend in boost mode, the harder the game gets, and bullet speeds can increase by a lot and get really insane. So, you know, if you just try and stay in boost mode as much as you can, then the game will get extremely hard. I can't do that. I'm not good enough to dodge some of those crazy, insane, speedy bullets. So I try to manage rank and keep it under control. I still do some boosts. See, I'm already, so you can see the counter on the left. I'm already at about 3 minutes spent in boost. Actually, probably a bit more, but that doesn't really matter. And so, you know, but I'm not going for the entire stage. And usually what I'm doing, at least in the first 2 stages, early stages, well, even later, is actually bomb at the end of the stage, right before getting the bomb pickup icon from the boss. So I should explain a bit more about how rank works. The only way to lower bullet speed and to decrease the difficulty of the patterns is to either bomb or die, which doesn't give you much of a choice. So bombs are even more important in this mode, and you have to plan your bombs super carefully. You have to do some heavy routing. It might be even more tight than in original. And you also don't get to decide when you want to activate boost in this game. Whenever the brake gauge, whenever that fills up, then the game automatically activates brake mode or boost mode or whatever for you. So you don't get to choose, and that is one of the things that makes the mode very tricky and difficult. Is, you know, sometimes the game takes away your ability to bomb because it automatically puts you in brake mode. And then, you know, depending on how high... See, here I'm bombing to reset the rank and immediately getting the bomb pickup so that, you know, I have more resources. I can manage rank more easily in the next few stages. You don't have to do that, but it does make the game a little more manageable. And so what happens a lot in this game is, you know, sometimes you don't notice that your gauge is filling out until it's too late, and you go into boost mode, and then you have to face some, you know, crazy difficulty pattern or enemy, and you die because you can't bomb anymore, which is really frustrating because, you know, your bomb meter might actually be low, but depending on when that happens, you can get completely screwed. So you have to be really careful with managing your resources, much more than in original mode. And that's what makes the game, you know, a lot less approachable, a lot more difficult. And, you know, it's also a very different experience. The patterns are very different compared to original. It almost feels like, you know, playing a completely different game. Sometimes I remember getting... you know, losing because I was used to patterns from original, and some patterns on this mode are just the exact opposite. They're obviously designed to kill you if you try to play it like original. So it's almost like playing a completely different game or a sequel or something. It's amazing how much content this game has. And I still, you know, personally, I still haven't delved into modes like Unlimited. I don't know if I can do that because it looks completely insane. But it is, you know, I would say if you're on the fence and watching this, it's a pretty amazing game. And one thing that helped me, I think, clear this is taking a break. Because then, you know, your muscle memory gets sort of reset. And you can, you know, you can get used to the newer patterns from this mode a bit more, because if you don't do that, it can be a frustrating experience. I remember playing the mode right after getting the clear on original, and it was really difficult for me. I was also trying to score as much as possible and spend as much time in boost as possible, which which is a mistake, because you really have to know your limits and bomb, and you have to bomb preemptively. You have to bomb before bad things happen, you know, which is rough, because that's when the mode gets a bit counterintuitive, is that, you know, dodging stuff, especially at super high speed, is really fun. It's something I really like in shmups. But in this game, you have to play really safe. So when the rank goes high, you want to dodge stuff, but most of the time it's not even worth it. You should just bomb and wait. See, here I know this section is always one of the most difficult in the game. Well, not especially this one, but what's coming next is pretty hard. So I'm bombing preemptively to lower the rank and make it more manageable, because going through the whole thing in break mode is, you know, not impossible. I'm sure a lot of people can do it, but I can't, and it's pretty insane. But I would say again, this section might be a little easier compared to original, but it's still challenging. You have to know where stuff is spawning. See, I know I've played it so much, I know exactly what I should be speed killing, which, you know, when I started playing original I didn't. And I am bombing again, you know, it's not worth taking risks on this section, because you want to, like in original, you want to keep as many resources, well, and by that I mean lives really extends. You want to go into the final stage, and especially the final boss in TLB, with as many lives as you can. So, you know, dying here can be a huge pain, because we're still, you know, I don't think we're at the halfway point of the game yet, because stage 5 is really, really long. See, here I'm playing a bit risky with that. Should have probably waited a bit more. Was getting a bit angsty. Was my second run of the day. I was not expecting to clear it all. I actually hadn't played this in 4 days. Before that I did play a lot, but I think, you know, at some point you just get all the tactics down in your muscle memory, and, you know, sometimes taking a break helps consolidify things, and you lose some patterns or bad habits that you may, you know, pick up without even realizing it. So yeah, so this boss is pretty cool. He's actually not as hard as he seems, you know, and you have to know. So here I'm dodging 3 waves of the forks, then just moving to the left, and you can wait until it goes into the next phase. This is almost the same as in original, as far as I can remember. It's just execution. So, you know, this I don't really mind, and I'm bombing here to reset the rank, because unlike original, on this phase it can get really hard to get to the lower part of the screen before the lasers go out. So I've lost a lot of lives trying that, you know, being too greedy, not bombing. So I'm over that now. I just bomb and try to make it to the end of the game first. This was my first clear. All the clears that I've been posting on this channel are first clears. So, you know, they're usually pretty rough, pretty nervous. You can see, you know, panicky stuff, but I think, you know, it's probably more fun and realistic to see that. And I also tend, so here again, see, I'm grabbing the bomb power up. So the bomb level is going down on the break gauge. One interesting thing is it doesn't always go down by the same amount or percentage. So early on in the game you don't get to completely refill your bomb meter, but later on in the later stage you do, which is strange because the game doesn't tell you anything about that, and the item pickups are the same. So that was tricky for me to figure out as well. You know, sometimes you don't know how much bomb meter you're going to get back. And this part I know, you know, I've played this a few times. I know if I have this amount of bomb meter, I can afford to bomb pretty early on, and I should make it to this section. Here I think I'll go for the break, which is a little risky, you know, and I'm not scoring too well here, which is why I still don't have break mode activated. I'll get it here, but this means, see, see what I was saying. Here, I don't have bombs anymore. I can't bomb. So I'm sort of getting rushed by those, you know, speedy bullets. Hopefully I know that, you know, you can, at this point, you can get to the top of the screen to avoid them. But this was actually dangerous. This was a bit risky and not optimal for sure. So here we are. I'm still in break mode, and this is getting risky, so I'll bomb here. Right, it's not worth taking a risk just for a few stars, and it makes the patterns of this ship more manageable. And this is a cool pattern. This one is really dope. So there are a few ways to dodge it, and I've lost a lot of lives to it, but I really enjoy it. So you get 2 ships here. You can get 3 if you're in break mode and if you kill them really quickly. But I like to play outside of break mode for those. So I'm doing pretty well now. I'm on 3 lives. Score is pretty low, you know. I'll probably get the second extend, but definitely not the third one, which is okay as long as you don't make too many mistakes, you know, over the course of the game. So I was feeling all right, you know, but not super confident because I've had so many runs where I get to the end, well, to the end of stage 5 with a good number of lives, and, you know, even 3 lives at some point, and I managed to screw it up and lose to the TLB. So nothing's guaranteed here. This phase, you have to be really careful. It can get tricky. So, you know, don't hesitate to bomb if you don't feel too comfortable. Again, bombing is the key to clearing this. You have to bomb whenever you feel uncomfortable, which is different, you know, because I feel like original, a lot of the bombing you can do on reaction, but in this mode, not so much. Some things you can bomb on reaction, but a lot have to be bombed before they happen, you know, when it gets too crazy, because when the rank goes too high, even when you know a bullet is going to come your way, sometimes it's just too quick to dodge. You have to dodge some things before they happen, which is pretty crazy. So, you know, just bomb if you're not feeling too good. And that was some advice that was given to me by the shmup community on Discord in a Crimzon Clover channel, and that helped, you know, just helped me understand that I was playing the game right, which, you know, it's a pretty cryptic mode, so that helps. This phase can be dangerous, so see, I'm bombing here. Usually I don't, but I think I was in a bad spot because those aimed like triangle shots can cover a lot of the screen if you're not in the right position. So 2 bombs here, see, pretty overkill, but I didn't want to take any chances. I'm just playing safe and trying to clear the mode. So now we're getting to the stage 4 boss, which is a really cool boss. And again, like in original, the first phase is the most difficult one. So you have to be careful. You have to use cancels because, you know, it's just sending too many bullets right at the beginning. So I'm killing the left side pretty much. And here I'm just trying to survive while doing as much damage as I can. But the bullets are getting really dangerous, really fast. So just bomb here. And here, you know, you also have to be careful, you know, the sort of torpedoes coming from the right side, they're completely random and they can kill you if you focus shot at the wrong time. And now, you know, from here it gets a lot easier. You can get cancels on the turrets and get a lot of break meter pretty easily. Now, yeah, moving on to the last phase. And again, I think, you know, this phase is probably easier than it is in original. I'm bombing because I think it's not worth taking any chances here, especially since I'm going to get another bomb refill item soon. So here I'm on, you know, moving on to stage 5, 3 lives left. Bomb meter is, I think it's full, or at least really close to full. I think it's full, yeah. And I almost have my my second extend because I have 21k stars. Well, actually, you know, 210k. So it's coming up pretty soon. So at this point, you know, I just want to play safe, use bombs. I remember telling myself at this point, you know, just use the bombs. Don't try to play hero. Use the bombs, get through the stage, and try to make it to the final boss with as many lives as you can. Just play super safe. And again, somehow this stage, so I think the stage 5 is difficult, but I think it's, you know, in some ways it's actually easier than stage 4 because you get to refill your break and bomb meter a lot in the stage. There are so many enemies, so many small, you know, Zakos or however you call them, the small tanks enemies. And so, you know, you do get a lot of bombs. I think the end tail of the stage gets a little difficult, but it's not so bad at this point. So I really like the first part of the stage, you know, it's sort of like Mushi Futari, you know, you're just going for cancels and you have to prioritize your targets, but you know, and once you know, of course I know this section from playing original. If I didn't, it would have taken me a longer time to figure out. And see, I'm still, you know, playing safe. I know this section. I'm doing alright, just dodging. The bullet speed is not too crazy. Yeah, you get this random message, which is pretty cool, but sometimes really hard to understand. I think there's a story to this game. I just don't know exactly what it is. So I'm on 7.5 minutes of boost mode, which is not, you know, not too bad, not too much. Pretty realistic and safe. Yeah, here I have to bomb because otherwise the section gets crazy with all the suicide bullets. This is more trickier than it looks actually. So you have, and now we're moving into a pretty dangerous section where you'll get big enemies like this big, you know, flying ship and smaller tanks from all sides shooting at you. So you have to be really careful because it's hard to kill them and they're really dangerous. So I bomb on the first one. The second one I can manage because rank is lower now, but you still have to be careful, especially from the tanks on the left. And this, again, this is also tricky as well. See, the bullets are hard to see. You have to position yourself correctly. I just got my 4th life, you know, second extend, so that's good news. I just want to stay focused here. And here you have to be careful. I think I'm gonna bomb, you know, just to play safe. This is a really simple boss, but when the rank gets too high, it's easy to, you know, it's easy to lose a life, really, when tap dodging because it gets faster and faster. So it's not worth losing a life here, really, because I'll get a refill and another bomb. So I'm trying to just take this life as far as I can. And it's taken me pretty far because I still haven't missed, you know, I still haven't lost a life. This meat boss is also really cool and really easy when you know what to do. See, first phase is gone, then you can get to the top. I think you can get cancels on the left and right turrets as well. I don't do that because I just want to play safe. Going to the bottom, see, and the patterns are pretty easy to avoid somehow. And see, I'm going for the bomb item again, so my bomb meter gets reset, and here I'm in a really good spot to clear the game because I'm moving on to the final section, the boss rush, final section of the game. Bomb meter is full. I have 4 lives. This is really good. And so I can spam my lock shot on the, you know, the spider boss, the boss from stage 2 who's coming back. Here I am gonna bomb for sure because I did lose my previous, well, my previous run of the day. I did lose a life here, and I think that sort of, you know, ruined my run, so I don't want to make the same mistake. Here, that spider boss is dead, but it spawns another one when you kill it very quickly, which I thought I didn't. Honestly, I thought I would get the other version with the large red ships, but I did get another spider boss. And at this point I was a bit annoyed because I was not planning to get one. And here I think I'll make the dodge. I don't remember. Yeah, so I don't bomb, but here I'm gonna have to bomb because it gets too crazy with the turrets shooting at the top. I think I don't end up killing the spider somehow, so I'm missing out on a lot of stars. But here, this is the final section of the game. I've lost so many lives here. You have to manage, you have to know when to bomb, and you have to be careful not to go into break mode. So this is really dangerous. I wanted to bomb and I didn't, and it went into break mode automatically, which meant I couldn't bomb anymore. So then you don't have a choice, you just have to dodge everything that's coming. The good thing is it does reset the rank, so bullets get slower, but still, that was, again, risky play on my part. Maybe I should have just bombed, but I made it through. Here at this point, I just, I'm just trying to get to break mode and then to get a bomb. I'm pretty close at this point, and I think I'm trying to survive, but yeah, I'm just bombing to clear the space and clear the small Zakos, because the ones that shoot the sort of fork bullets, they're the most dangerous here. The others are not a problem, but if the speed gets too high, then that's when I lose. So now we're moving to the final boss, stage 5 boss, which I've played a lot, so I know when to bomb, when to play safe. First you get those really small, pretty fun ships, and you have to be careful on those. At this point I'm not in break mode, so their shots are pretty slow, but you still have to respect them because they can sort of wall you if you're not careful. So I get into break mode, and at this point what I'm thinking is I'm trying to build a bomb meter as soon as possible. Thankfully the first phase of the final boss that we're going to see now allows you to build a lot of gauge. So I'm feeling pretty confident really at this point, that I will get my bomb meter, then I can bomb the whichever phase I don't like, which is this one. It's dodgeable, but I really don't like it because the bullets are coming from all sides. And here I'm trying to build as much meter as possible to get break, which I do, so I get some invincibility. This phase is not too hard, you just have to be careful because the boss is sort of drifting from one side to the other. I bombed this because in boost mode it's pretty crazy to dodge. And then, I'm doing alright on this final boss. I've played it a lot. I'm just playing safe here, not blowing up the turrets because they spawn additional bullets. I don't need stars anyway because I'm not going to reach the 450k extend. So I just need to play safe, I'm in boost, shot focusing, and just trying to avoid the lasers that come down, which you still have to be focused on because they can get pretty quick. But this last phase, the bouncing ball is really annoying. You have to be super cautious. It's actually not difficult, but it's really easy to mess up if you're not careful. You can get trapped. So here I'm just, misdirecting the bullets carefully. I did have to use a bomb, which is okay because if I do manage to beat the final boss on this live, I'll get a bomb refill item. So this, at this point I really just don't want to lose this life because it will make it easier to get the clear. So far this run is going wonderful. It's the first time I make it to the TLB, the true last boss, with 4 lives, which is a really high chance to clear. And here it's hard for me to get out of my mind that, in practice I usually beat the TLB on 1, maybe 2 lives. So this is pretty much a guaranteed clear. But I'm not looking at my meter, which I should have, so I bombed. And here I'm thinking, well, see that mistake? It's filling out this break mode. Now things are going crazy. And I lose my first life of the run. And this is where I start getting nervous because, it's gone so well so far that, I feel like I'm losing control. So I'm gonna use a bomb here, I think, because I'm too close to the edge of the screen. I still have 3 lives but you know, in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking, what if, you know, what if I end up losing all the lives and wasting this run, which has gone so well so far. And so I'm just, you know, trying to dodge, hands getting a little shaky, using bombs. And here I think is where I lose another life. I should have bombed, really, thinking back to that. I had a lot of bomb meter. And this is where things get really panicky. Because realistically, you know, getting here with 2 lives is still really good and a very good chance to clear. But the final attack of the second phase, which you will see soon, can get dangerous. So here I'm just playing safe, using a bomb and getting to the last phase. So this is the part that I've never cleared before. Played it quite a few times, but I always lose to the final attack. This phase is pretty easy. You get a lot of space to dodge, really. The second phase, this gets a little strange, you know, and you can get trapped by some of the aimed bullets. So I'm just bombing. I have a lot of resources. Just want to make it through. I think, yeah, at this point I do. This phase, it doesn't even happen because I did so much damage. And this is the attack that kills me every time. So I have to be super careful. Trying to dodge. I'm moving around too much. See, if I didn't move, I would have dodged it. And now I'm super, you know, feeling super bad. I have 2 chances left. But what if I waste it? And I end up wasting it. So when you use bombs, you can't damage the TLB because he gets a shield. So you really have to, you know, kill it, you know, when he's shooting at you. And that makes it a little harder. But you know, I managed to waste all those lives, and I do get the clear, and I remember feeling really relieved, you know, because it would have felt like I would have felt really bad making it to the TLB with, I think it was 4 lives, and then losing. So yeah, I did get the clear. The end was pretty crazy and super panicky, but it was fun. If you do, you know, want to play this game, I do recommend trying out all the modes. Go for Novice first, then Ranged, then move on to, I would say, probably Original first, and then Boost. But it's a super good game. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Like and subscribe, as usual, if you like this type of content. And I'll see you next time. Peace.